Update. I kicked my adopted son out of my house. I think I will just cut my losses. Original post. I, 39 male, married my wife, 39 female, 16 years ago. She had a 2-year-old. The father unknown. I adopted him and he is the star in my world. I would do anything for him. He always knew he is not biologically mine. When he was 15, he started acting strange towards me. He was colder and acting out towards me. I thought it was just teenage phase. But then I found out that my wife told him who his bio father is. He even met him a couple of times. I was angry at my wife. She lied to me and then told him behind my back. The trust was gone and I filed for divorce. She moved out and my son stayed. He started hanging out with his bio father more and more and he didn't want to do anything with me. I suggested therapy but he turned that down. Come today, my family organized a late graduation party for my son last Saturday. My ex and her family were invited too. When the day came, he just didn't come. I was angry. Then my niece showed me on Instagram another party that my ex's family organized. They were all there, including bio dad and his family. My heart broke and my family consoled me all day. I had enough. Next day, when my son got up, I called him to the kitchen and told him I'm done. I told him to pack his bags and get out. He was freaking out. Begged to stay, but I stood my ground. He moved to my ex's parents. I got a lot of calls from my ex, her family and bio dad about how devastated he is. Now I feel bad. I still love him but my heart is broken by his rejection. Today, he and my ex came to my house to talk. He apologized profusely and repeated over and over again that he loves me. I told him how hurt I am about how he treated me last 3 years. I was basically an ATM to him, and it hurt a lot. Then I asked them to walk me through how it all started with bio dad. My ex immediately responded that this is not my business anymore. I said okay, and asked them to leave. My son cried and told me that he needs money for college. I was supposed to pay for everything. I told him that I lost all the trust and feel that they want to use me one last time and when college is over, they will drop me forever. I said that I must think things through and will let them know how I want to continue this relationship, if at all. They left. I think I want to cut my losses and try to heal. But I still love him very much, and I know I'm jeopardizing his future. I cried all my tears out, and I feel like a horrible person. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Wow, rough situation all around. I could forgive a 15-year-old for having conflicting and complex emotions here and obviously struggling with how to handle them. Seems that your ex played a big part in these issues too. From introducing him to his bio dad behind your back to scheduling a graduation party for him on the same day that you and your family had. I feel for the kid. Sounds like his mom has done a lot to mess with his emotions. But he lost me at my son cried and told me that he needs money for college. Seems like if having you in his life was that important, he wouldn't have brought up the money so quickly. He can take out loans like everyone else. And if he truly wants you in his life, he can continue making that attempt. If one day you feel like the relationship has been mended, you're even free to help pay off his loans if you like. But it shouldn't be about the money. You shouldn't need to buy his affection. It sounds like he's more upset about the college money than he is about losing his relationship, what little there was left, with you. You're not a horrible person, and I don't think you should pay for his college. The kid reminds me of my half-brother. My dad had enough of his behavior and sent him to live with his mom. Then something like this happened to him and essentially thought my dad was his ATM. Now he's near 40 and still seems to think that my dad is his meal ticket. Dad went no contact with him and I'm happy I don't need to hear his manipulative nonsense again. I think bio dad and his mom should start thinking about how they will be paying for his college. How convenient for her to pick and choose what is and isn't your business. Truly convenient. I don't normally comment on posts, but this really angers me. In my opinion, she's the real a-hole here. I bet she's done a lot to alienate her son's relationship with his stepdad to his detriment. Poor kid. Now for the update. I met with my son only 3 days after my last post. I wanted to have a conversation with just him. I asked him what's going on and what he told me completely broke me. He told me he met his bio father even before he was 15. About 5 years before. He went regularly with her mother and he really liked him. When he turned 15, they told him he was his bio dad. They also asked him to not tell me. He was so happy that he knows his bio dad that he had no problems to do as they asked him. Sometime later, they then told him that they are in a relationship for some time now and that they love each other. My ex intended to divorce me, but it was not the right time to do so yet, because she was not financially ready yet. I saw how happy she was with him, so he approved of this. But then I found out about his bio dad. He was angry at me for divorcing his mother because she was not ready yet. He only stayed with me because I was closer to school and friends. I was more financially stable too and would pay for his college. And my ex approved this. I was not surprised, but still I was stunned with his info. I asked him how he sees us moving forward, and this is where a big bombshell came. He told me his dad will take a loan to pay for his college. I showed him that my love is conditional and he doesn't want anything to do with me anymore. That his dad and mom are getting married and he will be dad's best man. He intends to change his last name to his dad's. I was crying by this point and told him I will respect his wishes. He left. Forever. My life is at absolute low point right now. My family's devastated, but they are really there for me. I'm very grateful to them. I am very depressed and consuming way too much alcohol. I know it's not smart and intend to stop. It will take a long time to recover and I'm searching for a therapist. That's the update. I hope I will be able to move on and living my life again. Thanks everyone for your support. I really appreciate it. I don't care what anybody says, but you were betrayed both by your ex and her son. Him being young is not excusable for his despicable behavior. He was also taking advantage of Opie's weakness for him and was only after his money. Opie did the right thing to remove the cancer out of his life. Opie taught his son a very valuable life lesson that he would never learn at school or colleges. That in life, you make choices. And with every choice, it would lead down a different path. And each path have consequences. And you have to face those consequences. Adopted son chose his bio dad over his adopted father and was rightfully shown a door. And on top of all that, let's mention that Opie's wife was having an affair with bio dad for years during their marriage. And his son knew too. Holy hell. Opie wasn't just betrayed. He was being used the entire time. He was nothing but a tool of convenience for both of them. Right. I've been teaching my nephews that over and over again. Pretty much is the same lesson I will teach to my child when the day comes as well. We all have choices, and we sometimes know what the outcome will be, including the consequences of the said choice later on. Everything has pros and cons, and you just have to be ready for both. Son just made a choice, and it seems him and the ex-wife wasn't ready for the consequences, which is Opie eventually cutting them off well before they can use him for financial gain. 16 years is no joke, but you gotta do what you need to do. And, well, that's what Opie did. I honestly blame the mom here. The deception and using the child as a pawn in this larger game is pretty messed up behavior. Nah, that son was horrible from the very beginning. It wasn't just his mom. That kid kept that secret for almost a majority of his life and knew his adopted dad was getting cheated on. He never cared for this man at all. Screw that kid, that mom and everyone in that family. I wish nothing but the worst for them. It wasn't that you taught him that your love is conditional. It's that you taught him that actions have consequences and he just doesn't like being held accountable for his role in this situation. Next story. In the middle of my wedding planning, I managed to alienate both my adoptive and bio family. I am now all alone and I am crushed. Original post. I, 27 male, was adopted when I was 1 year old. My adoptive parents had 2 more bio kids, 23 male and 21 female. I never felt I was fully part of the family. I think my siblings always gotten more and better gifts than me, and more affection. I complained to my parents, but they always said they loved me equally. But that never made me feel better. I feel like I was a nephew, if you know what I mean. When I was 23, I decided to search for my bio parents. When I found them, they explained to me that they were too young, 16 and 17, to take care of me, so they gave up. They never had another child. We clicked instantly, and I felt very accepted. Even bio extended family are very loving, nice people. I started going to events and holidays with them, and I love them very much. My adoptive parents always complain that I don't want to spend any time with them, but I think that they got 23 years of me, and it's nice that I give my bio family some time too, as we missed so much. I will get married next year. Me and my fiancé discussed sitting for our families, and I expressed my desire to have my bio mom and dad by my side. She told me to discuss this with my adoptive parents as she doesn't want any drama at the wedding. So I did. My family totally flipped out. My mom had a breakdown about how I replaced them when they did so much for me. My siblings cussed me out, and my dad just sat and cried. I was very upset and told them that I was never accepted in this family like I was in my bio family, and that my decision is final. Mom demanded that they sit by me or they will not come. I said no problem. They are disinvited then, and I stormed out. All adoptive families on me right now. how cruel and horrible son I am. My fiancé told me that I should reconsider because they did raise me and make me the person I am today. I don't know. I still love them, but they hurt me a lot. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Info, can you provide specific examples about this unequal treatment you talk about growing up? Like your siblings getting better gifts, can you give an example? Because if your adoptive parents actually treated you as less than their biological kids, that's pretty significant. But it's definitely possible that they treated you equally and you just internalized a lot of these feelings. And if so, then I could easily understand your adoptive parents feeling bad that after raising you for all these years, they would get pushed aside by the biological parents you only met a few years ago. So ultimately, the specifics matter a lot. In a comment, he mentions bio family is paying for his honeymoon, which seems kinda suspect. You're the a-hole. In this case, you haven't actually given any evidence to show that you were treated badly. By all accounts, you weren't. You were just in your feelings. You refer to them as adoptive parents and not your actual parents who raised you. They spent blood, sweat, and tears for almost 23 years. They considered you their kid. And just because you were in your feels, you opted to try and replace them with people who, if I'm not mistaken, never once tried to reach out to you in your 23 years of life. Think about it. Yes, they were young, but have you ever questioned why they never tried to find or get in contact with you? Maybe they have, but it doesn't seem like it. It's your wedding to do what you want. However, you've definitely disrespected your parents, the people that raised you even though they aren't related to you by blood. You still have a lot of growing up to do. Right? Doesn't every kid pretty much feel like their siblings was favored? The lack of actual examples stands out. Pretty much. You see bio siblings post on Reddit all the time about the other one being the golden child. But wow, OP, that's a huge slap to the family that raised you for 23 years. It's easy to jump in when you're an adult and give you gifts and praise. But your bio parents weren't there when you were sick, pooping in diapers, having nightmares, needing help with homework. People focus way too much on blood over family. You're the a-hole. My adoptive parents always complain that I don't want to spend any time with them. I think that they got 23 years with me. Yeah. They spent 23 years with you making sure you had a roof over your head, making sure you had clothes on your back, making sure you had food in your stomach, making sure you had warm hugs and support when you needed it. Barring some serious neglect and abuse, try and remember that they were the ones that spent the last 23 years or more sacrificing to make sure you were well cared for. They put in the work to raise you and help you become the man you are today. Maybe they did mess up and didn't get everything right. Maybe they genuinely did treat your siblings different, but my guess is they didn't mean to, based on their belief that it was equal. Parenting is hard, and while yes, it's the parents' responsibility to take on that hardship and do their best not to make mistakes, mistakes will happen. It doesn't sound like any of those mistakes were blatantly harmful or damaging enough to take away from all the things they got, right? Or surely you would have stated that. I don't think there's anything wrong with you getting to know your bio family, but don't forget to put in all the time, work, and sacrifice as your actual parents. You're the a-hole, unless there are major context points missing. Now for the update. I don't even know what is going on here. I posted on another sub yesterday and I was deemed as huge ungrateful spoiled brat. Maybe I am. So while planning the wedding with my fiancé, I, 27 male, decided that my bio family will sit by my side. I made contact 4 years ago and our relationship built up really fast. For all my life, I didn't feel fully accepted by my adoptive family. My feelings were always dismissed as unreasonable. My parents always claimed they loved us all equal, but I just felt the difference. It's hard to explain. I did went to therapy because I shut down and went cold when I was 12. It helped a little and I opened up and voiced my feelings. They were never accepted as valid. All that changed when I met my bio family. I felt fully accepted, or so I thought. After I told my adoptive family that my bio family will sit by my side, they had a meltdown. And in the heat of moment, I just invited them from the wedding. I know that was wrong and feel terrible. It's almost a week from the incident and we still don't talk, and it's killing me. Yesterday, after being blasted in another sub, I decided I will test the waters with my bio family. Today I went to their place. While discussing the wedding, I told them that they will sit close to me but my adoptive family will be by my side. Everything went quiet for a moment. And then my bio mother told me that they kinda hoped they will get that place. They think that our relationship progressed very well, and they thought I came around and see that they are my real family. Plus, they are paying for the wedding. My heart dropped. They never expressed this to me before, and I told them that I already have a real family, and that will never change. We can be very close, but I will always have one mom and dad. I still call my bio parents by their name. I saw that bio mother was on the verge of tears. My bio father then asked me to leave and that they don't feel comfortable paying for the wedding anymore. I am devastated. I don't know what is going on. It took one wedding and I lost both my families. I still have my fiancé, but this is the ultimate rejection. I don't even know how to recover from this. My fiancé told me she always thought that something was off with my bio family, but she never voiced her opinion. I want to reconcile with my adoptive family, but they probably see like they are a second option now. I don't know how to start. Go to their place? Message them first? I don't know what to say. Will they even respond? I'm such an idiot, and I feel like I will be all alone at my wedding now. Time to pay for your own wedding so nobody other than you can have a say in what your wedding looks like. I also can't imagine they'd be civil with each other anyways. Yes, it was dumb casting your adoptive parents aside for people who haven't been in your life for the majority of it. Time to profusely apologize, make up your mind and figure out a civilized decision. If I was you, I'd just make 2 separate dinners as a celebration with both sets of parents, cause this will only blow up more. I read your original post in AITA, and you left out that your bio family was paying for your wedding. You still come off poorly. Your original post came off that at 18 you blew off your adoptive family to replace them with your bio family and rubbed their noses in it. Then were shocked by their hurt. Now you want to rekindle that and downgrade your bio family and are shocked they're hurt? You tried to play both sides here and got rightfully burned. My advice is to take time to reflect on what kind of relationship you want here, and what your part is and how those relationships are, not just what you get out of them.